Hi guys, how are you? I hope you're all doing well. So, since Waldorf toys can be quite expensive, especially of the most common brands, a lot of people ask me for some a little more affordable options, and I found them. So, I highly recommend to look around always on apps like OfferUp or on the Facebook Marketplace. And if you live in Germany, then on eBay Kleinanzeigen, and look for some unfinished natural wooden things. They don't are advertised always as toys, but you can still use them as Waldorf toys. And I'm gonna start with the first one I just recently found, and I'm very happy about that. So I found a lady who had a bunch of blocks what she wanted to use for some crafting, but she never did, and it seems like this virus makes everybody to look through their stuff and to give some things away. So she had very big blocks, it's just wood, and I was sanding it, and my daughter used it as blocks to play with it. Some are really big, like this one and that one, but she's using them as toys, and I highly recommend to get those things. When you see something like this, the lady had also someone more round, and I paid for a bunch of them $10, and all I had to do was to pick them up and to sand over the corners and the sides to make sure that my daughter can't get hurt while she's playing with that. But you will also find on Amazon some different kinds of blocks, and it's usually the same. They come cheap from somewhere, and the people just don't see them as toys because they see them as crafting things. And then you just make sure you have to sand like I had, and go a little bit over the sides and the corners to make sure they're a little more round and it feels good and comfortable in your hand, and then it's a great toy. All you have to really make sure is that there's no lacquer, no color on them, and that it's unfinished and natural, because you don't really know what kind of lacquer it is and what kind of color, and it's usually not something you want to give your kid. Also, you will find easily on Amazon a lot of crafting things like these macrame rings, what are great to use and sort, and you can make them, you can dye them, and it looks beautiful. But you can also get on Amazon those kind of peg dolls which have different shapes and different sizes. Seems like I almost read the same one. Yeah, different ones. Yeah, and you can dye them. You can put some wool as hair and give them some more character. You can use them if you want to make your own board games or many other things. So there are so many options, and you can also just leave them like that if you're not that crafty, and then you can wait until your kid is ready from the age to make some Waldorf peg doll designs, and will probably love it. And another thing you can get for very cheap are those cloth pins, and in the US you will find them in dollar stores. In Germany every household has them, and you will find them for free, and in the US you might have to send them. In Germany probably not, and I'm not sure how it is in other European countries, but I think the quality there is also better of those than in the US. But you'll find them here for very cheap. And on Amazon I also found other cloth pins that are easier for the younger ones when they can't open the bigger ones. They look like that, and As you see, I dyed them by myself. I also made sure that they are natural, unfinished, no lacquer, no dye, and I did that by myself. And I also found on Amazon those little bowls and the little acorns, and I'm sure this will remind you to some a little more famous brands. I dyed some of them. This is just now the one natural example. It was a little bigger set, and it's also really great. Okay, let's move on to the next. I also highly recommend, if you're a little more crafty and you have the right tools at home, you can make your own animals and you don't have to get those very expensive ones. And if you don't want to give them any faces, that's good too, because that leaves more room for imagination. And I also always look for baskets, like any kind of basket. Some are sold with some fabric inside. I usually just dump that because I don't really like it when there is some fabric inside, because it mostly has stains and you never know. And the natural material, it cleans itself, it's self-cleaning, and the fabric is not. And if you like it with fabric, you can just make it your own, or you can look for some what are in better shape than I did. I just bought the cheap ones because they are pretty expensive here in the US. In Germany you get them for free or for like €1, and here in the US you have to pay like 10-15 bucks for something that little used. More when it's new sometimes. And we're using that for kind of everything, to organize, to sort. And here in this one we have the animals, and I highly recommend baskets. It doesn't really matter, do they look different, are they looking similar, because if they are all natural, it just looks very pretty together. Okay, and another thing is, if you're more crafty, you can also make your own baskets. This is one I made. I just had this macrame organic cotton rope left, and then I made one of those. I usually prefer to sew them, but it seems like everything I need to do that is not available during this crisis. So yeah, we have to be creative. Okay, and I don't know, did you heard about that brand? It's called Brio. They have those trails for the trains. They have also no lacquer, and they're also all natural, and it's pretty expensive. They are not 100% Waldorf, because the little trains are not Waldorf, but I think it's like a puzzle and you can be still very creative, and a lot of Waldorf parents love to get those. But like I said, they are very expensive, and IKEA has them for cheaper. I have the original ones because they are from my little sisters when they were younger, and they gave them to my daughter. But I highly recommend, if you're not able to afford all of those, or if you just don't want it, what I really understand too, then just get them from IKEA, and you can still get the trains from Brio if you want that, but there's not really a huge difference with the ones from IKEA. And now the last, those Waldorf dolls are very expensive. And when my daughter was a newborn, I was not sure, do I really want to spend that much money on a Waldorf doll, or do I even want to spend that much money on the materials for a Waldorf doll? So I just looked around and I thought, maybe I can just use something I already have instead of buying something, because I did not know how would it end up looking like, and it could happen something very ugly, you know. And so I just used an old sweater, and it was cotton, and I thought, yeah, that must be fine. Then I used some pillows to what I already had, what I did not need anymore to fill the doll. And I wouldn't use the same material as hair again. I used just any kind of wool I had, what looked kind of cool. And now I think I wouldn't use it again because it's polyester and I'm more into Waldorf now. But that's the doll I made, and I'm planning to make a new doll. If you're interested that I'm taking a video about that, just let me know in the comments down below. This dress I didn't make that, my great grandmother did it. The same with the underwear. The socks and the shoes are from my daughter when she was a baby. But I made this doll. I did it! And it even has a belly button. Yeah, and I'm pretty proud. And it just shows me that you don't have to spend so much money to try to make a Waldorf doll, and really try it. If you have a sewing machine or it's available to you to get one, maybe some of your friends have one, just try it, because those dolls are over a few $100s and euros, and they are just very expensive. And it's really not that hard to make one of those, and they don't end up looking always perfect, but that doesn't really matter to your kid. I mean, mine has not really a neck. It looks kind of weird, but I think it's very cool and I really love it. My sisters made the hair very pretty here for this red hair doll. So I highly recommend, look around your household, look around what your neighbors don't want anymore. Is there anything useful? Sometimes you get the stuff for so cheap and it's really cool, and it doesn't have to be always the expensive brand. And it's even cooler if it's not, because Waldorf is all about special, natural, with love, and made with love, and made by yourself, and it's a lot of love. So love the toys, make them yourself if you can, or find something you can get what doesn't kill your budget, and have a good time. I hope you guys loved that video. Please don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and if you want, I would love if you could share my videos, because I really want to tell everybody in the world that they can afford Waldorf things. So have a good day, and if you have any questions or you want to say something, just let me know in the comments down below. Have a good time. Love you guys. Bye. And thank you so much